Good morning, everybody. So what's today? The third day?
Yes.
How are we doing? How are we making headway?
Great.
Yeah. All right, so it's the third day of the Whole Life Coach certification. And do you know what this certification is all about? To be certifiably, unconditionally in love with yourself when you leave here, when you go home, when you go out into the world, and they tell you you can't. My job is to give you the tools and to have you feel very comfortable that you're not going to go to hell anymore for when you start to unconditionally love yourself to the point that you never think about it anymore. So remember what we talked about this morning? We talked about this. We said that we're only in the present moment 2% of the day. So the reality is that you can't always be in the present moment, but if you use your love band, if you connect to your breath, if you have a slight smile, that always helps you to be present. Did you know that if you smile, a slight smile, you cannot be in the past or in the future? And if you are in the future, it's because you're excited about something. You are not fearful about something. Did you get that? This is the craziest stuff. This is real psychology. The rest is BS. Okay, it's BS. So, you know, love band, life band, slight smile, shoulders back, chin slightly up, a slight smile, connected to your breath, lion heart breathing. Okay, now, if we've got that, remember something. The subconscious runs tens of thousands of programs on autopilot, okay? From the beating of your heart to the breath that you take to organizing chemicals and hormones and all of this. Now understand something. What if you could be conscious enough and keep yourself in the present moment for 9 months? Keep snapping, this is a kiss, and snapping yourself back to the present moment. It'll take you 9 months and that's it. It'll take you 2 years to be unshakable. Unshakable. 9 months to start birthing the authentic you, where you get to see the crest of your head come out of that imagination vaginal canal. Understand this, that when you start doing something and you repeat it long enough and strong enough, you are erasing without focusing on the beliefs you don't want. You don't need to. You only need to put down half a dozen of beliefs that are beyond amazing. I am love. I am abundant. I deserve it. Now, so if you had any training that made you into a sinner, good luck. If you had training that made you feel you're a failure and there's just not enough brain, not enough beauty, not enough of anything, good luck. You can't come up against that, and it's not true. So the reality is, if you can go in, and even if you feel like you're lying to yourself, you might as well, because right now the whole world is lying to themselves that there's not enough air, there's not enough love, there's not enough petroleum, there's not enough food, there's not enough room, okay? And there's not enough proper climate. I mean, do we need to keep on going on about this? It's such BS. I am never partaking in it. I will mention it because the world is ridiculous. And it's, are you okay with this? The world's always going to remain ridiculous because they're not going to come and take this course. 1 out of 10,000 people will come to take this course, because if you do, you have to come up against your husbands. And I say husbands because there's 2 men here out of 22 people. So there's 20 women, 2 men. And the reality is men do not want to change because they've been in control of the planet, and even though they're not in control at all. Isn't that something? Now, the reality is this. Whoever does come to take the course, you have to leave here and stay on course. And if you can do this, if you can snap yourself back to the present moment, continually connecting just to your breath, slight smile, okay? Putting your hand on your heart when somebody in your family or the world tries to get a reaction from you so that you'll lose your shit, so that you have to go back and clean the mess because they want to distract you and they want to disturb you and they want to bring so much stuff at you that said, I was so confused, I didn't know what to do, so I did nothing. Well, that's why right now your breast is full of cancer. That's why you have heart disease, blah, 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 on and on. So the reality is if you can stay present as much as possible Never dishonor yourself again. And understand something. Your family, your friends, your neighbors are going to tell you that you're dishonoring them with their looks. Because guess what? You know as well as I do that if your beliefs don't match someone, do they invite you over to their house for supper? Okay, but the reality is if you want to have new beliefs and you want to go to new heights, then guess what? Stop eating at people's houses that do not know how to enrich their field. We all have an energy grid. That's called our spirit. That's our energy. It's always coming in. And every time that you're fearful, did you know that you cause a thickening on your cells so that your spirit energy doesn't come in? And those psychos know this. So every time you do that, you lose your spirit. Now the reality is this. Every thought that you make is either energizing your grid, your protective energy, or it's taking it away. And they know that if they can make you fearful and scared, you've got holes in your grid. So, I knew one thing 25 years ago, and that's all I needed to know. That my life depends on me. I'm a robot. I already told you that 90% of your brain is your subconscious, and it runs on autopilot. The captain of the ship is your conscious mind. Until the captain decides to pick a new direction, everybody else that's running the ship, which is your subconscious, they're never going to do anything different. So you have to be conscious enough for 9 months to birth the authentic you. So you have to be like, okay, for 9 months, I'm going to focus on me more than my children and more than my husband. Oh my God, no, you can't do that. What if your children die in the tub? They might drown. You know, we're all so ridiculous. You know as well as I do, you over-mothered your children. You did what you did more than you should have. Now they don't even know how to make a peanut butter sandwich. The reality is that you mothered your husbands, okay? And then the husbands, they thought their job was over every time that they got home, when the job was supposed to start when they got home. Tell me I'm wrong. Whole thing's messed up. Anyways, we'll forget about that for a second. So we need to be reprogrammed. So whether we like it or not, I can be tired, okay? I can have a lot on my mind, but guess what? I never hurt myself. Now, why? Because it's not because I'm in the conscious moment. It's because the only programs that are in here now are unconditional love programs for myself. You know, people don't even ask me if I will eat shit. Because I won't. They won't ask me to do things that are stupid because I won't. But they'll do them because they run stupid programs and they don't even know it. Did you get what I'm talking about? Okay. People are eating crap. But because the majority eats crap, they'll continue to eat it. So what is this called today? Well, the one a day is this. The one a day is the sixth extinction. If anybody really wanted to know science, they would know that the planet has went extinct 5 times. And guess what? You know how they tell you all the people died? That's not true. They're giving you a bull crap story. Okay? And do you know what? The pyramids aren't just a few thousand years old. And the pyramids were not made by who you thought. And guess what? Today they still can't figure it out, how they got those big rocks. They have the biggest cranes in the world and they can't get those rocks up. Well, that's because it was levitation. And that was because it was another species that made them. But the reality is I'm not allowed to talk about that because now I'm a conspiracy theorist. So the reality is don't try to talk to people that aren't ready to hear something. This is how you will get what you want in this life. Shut your mouth. Focus on yourself and watch out what happens and how your life changes. So today I'm talking about this. The sixth extinction is actually pelvic rot. So we know, am I right or wrong, that the average person has 4 inches of consciousness. They don't look at a food and say, what is the frequency in this food? Because everything you eat and drink leaves your body. Everything. Even the nutraceuticals we have, which is the highest vibrational frequency medicine I can find on this planet, everything physical leaves the body. Only the what? Energy stays behind. Oh, wait a minute. When you go to visit someone, When you leave, you're taking the energy of the two of you together. So if you keep on calling up your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, or someone that irritates the crap out of you and is always judging you, that's your fault. That's your fault, not their fault. Because they're not judging you, they judge everyone. Did you get that? Hey, can I spin here? So if I spin and you come within the range of my arms and I slap you, whose fault is it? It's yours. It was just time for you to get a slap. Because did you not notice in the last 3 days how we have people in here that have to suffer even in this course? They're looking to have somebody help them get their amount of suffering in. Are you like out of your skull? Yeah, you are. So the reality is, until you change that program, I will never disrespect myself to earn another person's respect. Say that out loud. I will never disrespect myself to earn another person's respect. Did you get that? And you're disrespecting yourself every day. You will eat anything, drink anything because you need approval. Because we can't live without love, but it's a self-serve job. Do you know how happy my kids are that they don't have to feel like they have to? We love you, Dad. Without you, you'd be nothing. We'd be nothing, I mean. Lori, my partner, doesn't have to do it. I love her unconditionally. If we're all off the hook, we can just focus on shining our light and coming together and having a brighter light. But that's not going to happen. I want to welcome everyone to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure called Planet Earth, where as soon as you get here, okay, even while you're in the womb, someone's trying to kill you. And that's it. And understand, there will always be these psychos. They will always have control of this planet. What you were meant to do is rise with your vibration high enough that you become the eagle, not the turkey, gobble, 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 right? Continually having to talk about what's wrong, why you're not going to have a good day. No more gobbling. What happens to turkeys come October, November? Okay. Oh, they get more than plucked. They get it up the butt. Understand something. Start minding your business and start understanding that everything is vibration. Everything you eat, everything you drink leaves the body on a physical. The energy stays behind. Did you like the energy that we created yesterday here? Did you like the energy we're creating today? So understand, you are going to start hanging out with people that create beautiful energy for you. And if they're not your blood thicker than water, you know. Wow, that's really a deep thought. Okay, you are going to find your family. You're going to find your family. You're going to find people that bring your vibration up. You know what? It's all about the family. I die for the family. Really, really, you die for your family. Seriously? Why don't you live for your family? Why don't you live and show them how to live? I died for my family. I would die without you. This is why we're going extinct for the 6th time. Wow. Talk about low vibration here. Okay? And take a look what are in people's cupboards and fridges. But guess what? If you ask them, they'd all tell you they have a great diet. Take a look. This is the male core. And understand, the core is falling on the floor for what? How many people know 90% of the population have no core? How many people know that 85% of your energy is made and stored in the core? How many people would here have a tone? How many people have tone? Inside and outside. Okay, you're like little marshmallows. And I'm telling you, you do not want to be a marshmallow. Because when you're a marshmallow, that means that all the energy has to be picked up by your low back. That's why low back surgery is the main surgery when it comes to surgery of the back. And it's one of the main surgeries done anyways. And that's because, guess what? In the core here, we've got the large intestine. Let me tell you something. Everybody needs to know how to do therapeutic vomiting to clean out the stomach. And everybody needs to know that the most important organ in the human body is the large intestine. And guess what? The medical system make it their goal to destroy it. Yes or no? Yes. Antibiotics destroy the good bacteria, which is 85% of your immune system. Okay, it turns on the yeast into fungus and then drills holes through your large intestine. They know all of this. They know that antibiotics vibrate below zero, turning on the death vibe. Now, so you see this large intestine? That's where it should be. Up here helping to hold the stomach up, right? But most people's large intestines drop down by their belly button or below. I'm going to show you that in a second. So now, even though this is only, you may not believe this, but even though this is only 5 to 7 feet, it's more important than the 22 feet of the intestine. Okay, because if this backs up, and if your stomach, if you swallow a bunch of BS that we do, you don't food combine, you eat toxic foods, and you mess up your stomach, you mess up the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin. The hydrochloric acid is supposed to stop the parasites from coming in, the bad bacteria from coming in, the fungus from coming in, and it'll destroy it. It'll bathe it out. Nobody ever talks about that, do they? So that's why we have to do a stomach wash. Go and take a look in the DIY guide in the library at therapeutic vomiting and tell me I'm wrong. And people will say, well, I'm not going to vomit. I hate it when I do. Well, when you do therapeutic vomiting, it is orgasmic. You do not have the burn. And you're washing out your stomach of sometimes it's 1/8 of an inch mucus coating inside, so you can't even digest anymore. And issues in your tissues. How much BS have you swallowed? And it's in the tissues of your stomach. Okay? You need to get this. Okay, now, so the small intestine, take a look right here. I mean, the large intestine, see what happens? It's supposed to be right here. Take a look at the women. They got their fallopian tube, their ovaries, the ovum. Okay, they've got their bladder in here. Okay, they got a lot going on. Well, look what happens. This transverse colon is falling down with everybody because we don't tone. Understand something. How many people go to the gym? How many people work on their legs and their arms? Did you know if you only did your core, you would have strong arms forever. You'd have strong legs forever. You'd have a strong mind forever. Your core, okay, which is your large intestine, is the main part of it, is 85% of your immune system, and your bacteria talk to your brain 9 times, and your brain only talks to the body 1 time for every 9 times the bacteria do. So now, what if I have a bad diet? Well, if I have a bad diet, then I'm going to have bad bacteria. If I have bad bacteria, they're going to give bad messages. If they give bad messages, I don't know why I'm like that. Why am I angry? Because those messages are coming wrong. And they know this. That's true science. All you got to do is mess up somebody's bacteria and you'll mess up their whole life for the rest of their life. Oh, come on. Come on. You go big, you go small, you go big, you go small. You know, at the start of the day, you're here, and then you got to let out a couple of notches by the end of the night. Your feet are swelling in your shoes. Okay, do I need to keep going? And we are in the age of the puffball syndrome. Hardly anybody's got jawbones and cheeks left. It's, wow, what is that? Well, I don't know. It looks like a beach ball with a nose. You think I'm mocking people? No, you know they're on their way out. That's them retaining water because they're so infected. Now, so when the large intestine starts to drop, prolapse transverse colon, you're going to love this. What happens to the stomach? You get dropped stomach. So now the food sits in the lower part because before, take a look up here, it was more on a slant, see? So the food would actually be in here. So it'd all be soaked. So now when you get anybody that, you know what, anybody that's got a roll and it's hanging down, okay, or hanging out, that's your transverse colon falling down. You're already screwed. You know what? Let me see. Not bad. Out of 22 people, 4 people have a half decent abdominal muscles and intestines. 4 out of 22. Now, these are people that came to a health course that say they're in health. Do you get this? Okay. It's not good out there. That's why I'm telling you 30 to 40% of the population's leaving, even if they don't get another booster seat. Okay? All right? So now, the transverse colon has fallen down. So understand, if your transverse colon falls down, it is a dead snake. Did you get that? It is a muscle. It's got no tone. I mean, people don't even get this. It's like 9 out of 10 people, they have colitis. What do they have? Diverticulitis. We're going to go through this before the end of this course. I'm going to go through the whole thing. They got diarrhea, they got constipation, they got fissures, they got fistulas, they got polyps, which are warts in the colon that everybody's insane. Just insane. Okay, so that means they're rotting out. So here's the deal. The transverse colon falls down. Do you think it's going to put any pressure on your ovaries, on your bladder, on your uterus? Why do you think you're getting it chopped out? Because guess what? This was your garden. The large intestine is the garden of the human body. And guess what? Okay, you need to know this. And I say this, you'll never forget. How many people have a garden at home? I want you to take O. Henry's, beer, alcohol, okay, chips, ice cream, processed grains, okay, and all the other things that you know what I'm talking about. And I want you to put them in your compost at home so that you can let that rot. And a lot of it won't rot because it's not real food. But I want you to do it anyways, and I want you to put it into your garden. Would you do that? You'd say, are you like stupid, Daryl? Are you like stupid? And I'd say, no, I'm not like stupid. You're like stupid. What you put in here goes into the compost called your large intestine that creates the good bacteria that creates your immune system. Every time you put something in here, it gets down into your large intestine. It's deciding on how long you're going to live and what kind of day you're going to have. And that's why, guess what? Every bowel movement you have is a computer printout. So this morning, I could tell exactly how I ate yesterday, how I drank and how I ate. And did I let go or did I hold crap emotionally in? You think I'm wrong? Start checking it out. It's a computer printout. Okay? So now, when this falls down, oh, wait a minute here. Is there any surgeons on the line? Because my number is 469-861-9454. I'd like to go toe to toe right now. And the reality is guess what? Why don't you just go back? Go way back 40 years ago. You never heard of anybody getting hip surgery. That's because we were eating better and we weren't poisoned by Billy, okay? Little Billy, okay? Little Billy, psycho Billy. Got it. Okay, so anyways, so now we're being poisoned, but guess what? They're not poisoning us. We're poisoning ourselves because we've been programmed because we don't realize the subconscious just runs belief systems. You're sick because you have sick beliefs. Okay, got it. So the reality is now that this being a compost is no longer a compost. What is it? It's a manure pile and you're rotting out. So now what's happening is that all this pressure's in here and you are actually leaking because guess what? We've all did antibiotics, and if you eat any animal products or byproducts, you know that there's antibiotics in every one of them. So you're taking antibiotics every day. So now you've got holes through here and now you're pooping in your pelvis. This is called the pelvic girdle, and it's like a cup. And guess what? It fills up with infection. Why shouldn't you have endometriosis? Why shouldn't you have ovarian cysts? Why shouldn't you have bladder infections? Why shouldn't you have a smelly vagina like a dead fish? Why shouldn't you have mucus in there? Why shouldn't you have what? Endometriosis. Why shouldn't you have fibroids? Why shouldn't you have tumors? Why shouldn't you have painful sex? Lovemaking. Well, you should. Why is it so hard for women to actually have babies today? Understand, if a woman were to go on a perfect day, whole plant-based diet, if she were to do the pelvic squats, if she were to do the vaginal infusions, if she were on the daily cleansing tea, black gold, black diamond, you know what? It would take 20 to 45 minutes to have a baby. Inflammation causes scar tissue formation, causes contraction, and calcification of the pelvis. Now you've got a clamshell. All right. So now, with all this coming down, what is the pressure like on the hips? Well, my cup runneth over with fecal waste and rotting. So now that's getting into the hips. The inflammation in the hips causes scar tissue, And if it continues, it pulls calcium from the bones of the hips, and then it starts to calcify the cartilage, and then they go, you're bone on bone, you need surgery. And you can believe this or not, but we give a money back guarantee. You're not going to surgery if you need surgery anywhere in your body. Now, there are times, like 1 out of 100 times, and I mean 1 out of 100, that you actually need surgery. What does a surgeon want to sell? I'm going to go to a surgeon. He's one of the best, and I'm going to get his advice whether or not I need surgery. Now, so I did go, and guess what? He said I didn't need it, but he was going to keep an eye on it. He said he would live behind my toilet and under my bed, and he would just creep around the house to make sure it's going good. So when they say they're going to keep an eye on it, that means that guess what? In 6 months when you come back, because he never told you how to change it, never told you how to reverse it, you are going to get surgery. Then you're going to wait for 2 years, and you are going to suffer and be in pain, and this is because there's an elite force, okay, that lives off our suffering. So we can talk about the same thing with males. The same thing, transverse colon drops, same thing's going to happen, and that's why, guess what? You ready for this? Last 5 years, prostate cancer has gone up 40%. At the rate it's climbing right now, they say it'll go up 400 to 500% by 2030. Did you get that? And guess what? The whole world's rotting out. All these psychos, they could just go on holiday now, and they could go have pina coladas at the beach because we're all programmed to rot out. And welcome to the 6th extinction. They don't have to do anything else. But they do like money and they do like control, so they're going to keep on doing these things. Just remember, we don't have 5G going on now. We will prove with my brother Marcel, and he will be coming on to teach you guys, that we now have 10G. We don't have 5G, we have 10G now. Yeah, okay. And then appeal, little Billy, okay? He's got appeal on all that organic food. Remember the sticker? If you ever see that, you never buy it. Because that'll go in, and the appeal that's on there, the coating that they want to protect your organic foods longer, that appeal is a chemical that's actually to help you have leaky gut and leaky brain. That's all its job is. Remember something. Everything that these psychos do, they will give you a reason on why they love you, why they want to care for you. And the majority is always going to buy into it. So keep your mouth shut. Don't disrespect yourself by trying to look for respect from the majority of the population, and you'll have a better life. From the majority of your family to the majority of your friends. Are you with me? I need you to get this. I'm telling you, I've been doing whole life coach certifications for 40 years. It's never changed and it's not going to. Welcome to planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure for everyone when you learn the rules. Oh, no. You learn the rules and then you don't break them. You get rid of them and you make your own rules. We've talked now for almost 2 days and a quarter. Do I have my own rules? Is there any authority above me? No. Am I authority above you? No. Remember something. Doesn't matter who they are. We all were created by the same creator. If you've got any hate inside yourself or anger for anyone, you better learn to get rid of that. And you cannot get rid of it by focusing on the person you hate or the thing you hate. You can only get rid of it by picking things that you love. Why, I don't know how to stop thinking about it. I just hate it so. Well, just find something you love and focus on it. Remember something. It's not about getting rid of dysfunctional, hateful, depressing beliefs. It's only about focusing on what you want. Okay, are they trying to get us to focus on what they want? Mm-hmm. And is the majority focusing on it? Then don't focus on the majority. Look for your tribe. And I'm not saying we're your tribe, but understand something. Don't you ever take a course. Don't you ever get on course to follow anyone. There's a genius inside of you. If you don't leave with anything else, you don't need to join a group. People go, oh my God, BraveHeart Nation. Yes, we're going to be BraveHeart Nation, but we're all going to be individuals. It's when you create something and we want everybody to be the same. I want people to dress differently. I want them to eat differently, but eat high vibrational foods. I want people to exercise differently. I want people to live differently. And you all came here, okay. You all came here with a destiny. I'm not kidding. Every one of you. And I'm going to tell you something. The only reason why people feel like they're getting old, the only reason why people are disappointed about leaving the planet is they didn't complete their mission. You didn't, and you're never going to complete your mission unless you're going to mind your own business. And that business is completing your mission. And if you actually complete your mission, you're going to help the world. Have a beautiful day, everyone.